at last.
Are all the goats
Oh,
together now?
yeah. Everything, all the ducks are in a row. We are now live at last. Oh, it's going
Are
so
you still
glitchy.
here? We're so sorry. It was like
Is
a
anybody
night.
here at all?
I
Let's
think
see.
a few people were there um, reacting to me saying you're about to cry.
Yeah.
Yay! And I just got a notification too, which
A few
means
people were there.
yeah, hang on, I
Whoop,
have to.
whoop, whoop. Brilliant. I can't see any comments yet, but that's probably down to more glitchiness.
Oh, so sorry, guys.
So
Please
sorry. I know it's frustrating. Uh,
post the goat. Give us some goats.
um,
Do you know what a goat is? In
greatest of all time?
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, here's a goat in. Isn't Facebook in French a goat's
I don't
behind?
know.
Oh, yeah, Facebook.
I don't know.
Mm.
Right, and I think we've got Marion joining us on YouTube. So I hope you found us now, Marion. Do let us know if you have. I'll try and get rid of all the other live
Yeah, Sue
streams.
is here. Hello, Sue.
Oh, thank
Barrett is
goodness for
here.
that.
Barrett,
Barrett's
thank you for
here.
being here.
Yay! On a
Hello.
Tuesday. It's a bit weird, isn't
Happy
it?
Tuesday, everyone. How does it feel seeing us on a Tuesday? We thought we'd change things up a little bit.
And
And then,
I'm double
hi,
booked tomorrow.
Kirsten. Yay. Hi, Louise. Yeah.
Oh, is Kirsten our lovely new person, or is it a different Kirsten?
No, it's Kirsten who's been with us for a while.
It's that Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten.
Yeah, and Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Kirsten Wurst. Yeah. Hello, Lisa. Awesome. Here we go. And we have a cool topic today.
We do indeed. Right, I'm just sorting myself out. Reactivity isn't just barking and lunging, the signs you're missing. So if you're watching and you go into the group and there's people
Looking for this.
looking for us, if you could point them in the right direction, that would be really, really helpful. Because I think I can do that. That's last week. Yay, we've got the people that we wanted. Hooray. So
We want
Lisa's
all of you.
here. I know. Yeah, everyone's thinking they've gone to the wrong place. Oh, we've got more people there this time than we normally do. Good morning, Sue. Oh, thanks, Alison. I'll get a right sweat on when it doesn't work properly.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
horrible.
I feel horrible because I'm just imagining you guys being
Mm.
so frustrated, refreshing and refreshing and refreshing and going, where are they? Because it would really irritate me. So yeah, massive apologies. But yeah, if you see anybody that's lost and needs to find a home, just tag them and hopefully we'll catch them later. Brilliant.
Okay.
Phew. I can now
Are you
breathe.
guys having a good day? If you're having a good day, please post us a
Sorry, my fault.
please post a strawberry. Put a strawberry in your comments if you're having a good day and give us a lemon if the day sucked until now because we shall cheer you up.
I'm having a good day.
Strawberries for Julia.
Yeah.
Yay.
I met a new one-to-one client today.
Ooh,
Dog,
exciting.
the dog, he's an Akita puppy and he looks like a lion cub. He's so lush.
That is so cute.
He's just, well, either he's like a cross between a lion cub and a Labrador and a baby polar bear. Oh, Bear's having a pants day.
The whole zoo.
I know, he is. He's just lovely. He's lovely. He could have come in my pocket and come home with me. Absolutely no bother. It was too much fun. Super duper.
Good. I had a fun class.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah.
anyone do anything absolutely brilliant that you were really proud of?
Yeah, lots of them. Lots of them. So we had uh Steffi puppy. He was doing really pretty perch
Oh,
work. Uh,
cute.
No, a football and a Mali puppy who's just like the sweetest temperament, this dog. He was so
Really?
good. Yeah, it's
Mallees
such
can
a
be
cool
such
dog.
hard work, can't they?
This dog's just lovely. So he was um yeah, doing also just nice body awareness stuff
Oh,
with a water
lovely.
can. And the giant schnauzer Bill was doing heaps better than previous week, not biting.
Giant schnauzer called Bill. That is the best name for a giant schnauzer.
And and then what else? Oh, and Bella, the beautiful golden, she was also doing really well. She really enjoyed her cookies for a change. So the thing is, see, when they come the first time, the dogs are like, I don't really want to eat, and the owners are so frustrated
Yeah.
because they don't, there's nothing, the dogs they're just overwhelmed with all the other. Luckily, we have lots of space.
Well, that helps, doesn't it? And
Now
it's
we're a couple of
outdoors
weeks
as well,
in.
isn't it?
Yeah, we're a couple of weeks in now, and they're kind of all settling into it, and so it was really nice. We played some Super Bowls. They were all doing really well. I love it. Yeah, no, we had fun there. And Stevie was
Right.
the demo dog. Little Stevie was the demo dog. Anyway,
She a really good girlie.
she is, yeah. She was really cute.
So today, the title of today's live is Reactivity isn't just barking and lunging, the signs you are missing.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe shall we start just finding out how the dogs all respond?
yeah, great idea.
So how does your dog typically respond when they encounter new people or animals? Just put it in the chat. They bark? Are they curious? Do they go forward? Are they backing off rather? Is it like, I love this response, or is it a, ooh, I hate this response? Or are they sort of in between, kind of neutral?
Or are you not sure?
Well, yeah.
So poor old Kirsten, it's been raining all day, so she's fed up. And Katrina missed the strawberry or lemon question.
Oh, don't worry. It was just whether you have a good day or a bad day. Ooh, Katrina went on a tea touch workshop on Saturday. Really interesting.
Yes, wants more
Oh,
tea touches.
yeah, I know. What we had in the reboot was really just a teaser, right?
It really was. And I think the best idea would be to point you in the right direction of someone that's more of an expert in tea touches than us at the moment. So yes, leave it with
Hi,
me.
LJ.
I'll put you in touch with some people, Katrina, so you can learn some more. Because yeah, I love tea touches. They're really cool. But I need to do a little bit more.
Okay, we've got some responses coming in regarding how dogs react. Ellison says barks and lunges. It's totally a hate this response. And then
Oh,
Ellison, is it people and animals or is it specific animals? And then Patty says stress panting. Oh, I love that you
oh, good
bring that
answer.
up. I mean, it sucks for your dog, I know, but I'm really because it's quite subtle. A lot of people miss that, right? And then Louise says, to people, Bella likes them, but to dogs, she's getting better with dog. Okay. Alison says both people and animals. All right.
Yeah.
Louise wants to know what is a tea touch? It's
Ah, great
Tellington touch.
question.
Tellington touch. It's
Yeah, you could look it up if you look up Tellington Touch.
mm,
And what it is, it's not a massage because it's much lighter than a massage. It's literally different touches that just move the skin over the fascia of the on your dog's body in a very particular way. And there's various different touches that you could do, and it's all about connection. It's all about it's a real kind of touch,
mm,
but it's a very purposeful kind of touch. Great for relationship building, and it's a really nice. And for most dogs, it's quite relaxing, but it's quite important that you get the right touch for the right dog in the right circumstance. So, say it was a dog I didn't know very well, I would be very careful about which there's only one touch I'd probably use. I'd probably use zebra for that for a dog that's a little bit
Mhm.
that wasn't I wasn't particularly familiar with. And then once they're more familiar, you can go into other ones. It's really, really cool. It's loads of fun. If you go into the festival,
I was going to say,
yeah, if you look at Robin Hood's talk, she is the sister of Linda Tellington Jones. Actually, Katrina, you do this as well. Go straight to the horse's mouth. So Linda Tellington Jones, I mean, she's an amazing woman. She's well into her 80s and still rides horses and stuff. It was developed originally for horses and then moved across into other animals. But anyway, go into Robin's talk. She talks a little bit about it. Um, and you can go and have a look on their website as well because they do online stuff.
mm,
And I find Robin and Linda, they're just absolutely lovely.
yeah, go and
They're
have a look at
really,
that talk.
really great people. So yeah, go straight to the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Okay, we have a few more responses here. Sue says, Remy lunges and barks at certain dogs and cats, but loves people. Oh, cats! Gee, my Falky goes completely ape. You fill in the blanks.
I've got a cat related story from today.
Oh my goodness, we can hear this now.
Oh, huh.
Yes.
Do you want to hear the cat related story?
Is it a funny one?
No, it's just
Make me laugh.
I found it funny. But it was actually when I was on a call to a customer earlier. My husband was home late today. He was drilling holes in our bathroom ceiling, which is good. Anyway, he came downstairs because when my son came home, as you probably know, he brought with him a kitten and a snake.
But you
So
already had cats,
we
right?
already do have cats, and Hattie is not good with cats at all. She was, when we got her, we were told she was great with cats. She really, really isn't. So we use a lot of management. So that's my main strategy is management. I could put hours and hours and hours of work into sorting out that, but as we know, management's often the best option with these things. So the cats and the dogs, the kitten and the dogs haven't met until today. When I was in my office, Matt was in our dining room, my husband, with the dogs, with Hattie and Dash, and the kitten, who has no fear whatsoever, legged it into the dining room with Hattie and Dash there. Dash was totally oblivious. I mean, if you looked at him, you'd say he was the one with the chase drive, but no, he's totally oblivious. No idea know what's going on. Hattie then saw the kitten and she just stopped like that and then started walking towards her. The kitten's tail went up like a toilet brush, like that. And Hattie's kind of go, it was one of those where you could see her bucket overflowing. She was doing all this, like, and the kitten, did she sensibly run away or anything like that? No, she just sort of wandered off. And Hattie's like, oh, was that it? So it was a bit of an anticlimax, really, the cat. If she sees the kitten, through a door, she'll bark at it. She's very brave when there's a barrier. When there's no barrier, the bravery goes out the window. Totally. She's worse.
Yeah, but that
With
is
the
the thing.
big cats, if they start walking towards her, she will run away. And she does, she actually screams.
Really?
Yeah. You'd think from the sound of her, someone was like pulling her toenails out one by one. I mean, it's blood curdling, and the cat hasn't actually done anything. It's just walked towards her, and she'll run away. So that's another reason that I tend to try and keep them separate because Hattie
Yeah, it's a
pretends
bit
that she's
tough.
all brave and tough and everything, but actually she's a bit pathetic, and she does get a bit stressed out by them.
Shame. Poor Hattie, bless her. Oh, I'm
I
very.
know, she's just a bit of a wimp, and this new kitten is so brave. She's just got no fear. She's very cute as well, which
That's
helps.
good, actually. I think dogs get used to those kind of cats easier.
Totally,
They're
totally. I
running
think she's going to
away.
be loads better with this kitten than she is with the other cats. Definitely.
Okay, so here we go. Kirsten says Ramsey likes people and gets excited when he sees them. He loves small dogs, but is afraid of big dark dogs and gets
Yeah.
stuck around them. And Lisa says, I find cueing my dog's paws up and holding him gets him to reset his fearful thoughts to a calm, settled state. Yeah, paws ups is a
One of my
great.
favorites, that's for sure.
We were playing that in the class today. Yeah. And I was so proud. I mean, look, these dogs are all like excited. Not all of them, most of them. And a little bit, the Mali puppy is just like so chilled. But everybody else is either slightly reactive or
Yeah.
super enthusiastic and like frustrated that they can't get to either the other people or the dogs. So it was quite a scene, the first one. And then today they were doing, I mean, I started that in intervals first, but now today they were all at the same time playing their Super Bowls and going, over like one Cavaletti pole by the Super
Oh,
Bowl
lovely.
onto a thing, climbing over a thingy and so on. So it's just so nice when you see the things come together like that. Anyway,
So
that's not the topic today.
Barrett has taught her dog 4 feet on the ground. Um, so yeah, so she's working on it really, really, really well. And that's the thing, isn't it? Um, if you've got an excitable dog. Anyway, we're kind of going a smidge off track, aren't we?
Yeah, so what we wanted to find out was simply whether the dog's all going forward
Hmm.
or we had a stress pant. Does anybody's dog kind of go all stiff and avoidance like and or freezes or wants to get away? So Stevie definitely, when it's dogs, she kind of stops and wants to look at them from a distance when we're on
Yeah.
our walk. And people, she's definitely a little worried about people. So she sees them from a distance, and then of course we're on a walkway, so they're coming towards us. So then she's like, "Wow, need to get away, need to get away." Um, Definitely a flight reaction there. LG says, "Yeah, yeah, of course, Bodhi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really struggling seeing the comments today for some reason, Barbara. So if you can be in charge of comments, that would be really
okay,
helpful.
yeah. For a change, I can see the word
Yeah,
normally.
let's
Yeah.
swap.
Okay, but that is exactly the topic this week, isn't it? The different phases of reactivity, so to speak. Because most people associate lunging and biking and overreaction as in loud and in your face kind of um, reactivity, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
So
then
Antoinette, sorry.
we sort of tend to think it's if they don't do anything that they're not reactive, rather than seeing the quiet signs as well. Sometimes, don't we? But I suspect that most of us have got a barky, lungy dog because it's certainly more common.
Yeah, and people also say here in the comments that my girl would rather lunge, bark, and carry on until trigger is out of threshold range. And LG says Bodhi is not like that with people or dogs. It's situations and environments. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, I get
Katrina
that, LJ. Yeah,
says magnet hand is working for us. Pause up sometimes works. Freya will freeze with some people or fool around. She'll fawn on occasions. There we go.
yeah,
And Lisa says, my little guy freezes on walks on windy days. Then if a bike goes by, he lunges and barks. Bless him.
little sausage.
And Patty says, I got disconnected. My dog used to go into a sphinx down as a puppy.
So when your puppy saw another dog or a person would go into that down position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
hit
checking
the
it
hit the
out.
deck pancake.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bodhi is getting more optimistic and confident now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing a great job, LG.
You really are. Brilliant.
Cool.
Excellent.
Did we have any questions? Anybody write in with questions about their dogs? I don't think so,
Not
huh?
so far, no.
So if there is, you guys know this, but any of you who haven't been here before, if you have specific questions about your dog's reactivity or something you're not sure what to do with it or need a training, some training advice, anything, you can ask us anything. You can ask right now if you're on, but you can also always post questions in the group. We actually gather them all up and then respond here on the lives. But last week, everybody's been having a great time. We didn't get any questions, which is, I guess, is a good thing because it means nobody's been in trouble.
So, can I ask, I think it's a fruit question time.
Haha, I
So,
like that.
I would like to ask, is your dog hypervigilant when they're out on a walk? So, are they the kind of dog that's always scanning the environment? What's going on? What's over there? Who's that? What's that? Blah, 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 blah. So, if you have a hypervigilant dog, could you please put a peach into the comments? And if your dog is totally oblivious to everything going around them, if you could put a watermelon in the comments. So peach for hypervigilant, watermelon for a little bit more oblivious.
And Kirsten just posted a question. I'm going to copy it
Oh,
so we
lovely.
can use it amongst all the peaches.
Oh, yay! Lots of vigilance. Well, we would totally.
And Louise posted a pair, which I love because I'm kind of, well, bit of both.
And because it's great to have a fruit salad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. And for me, the for a vigilant dog, there's a few strategies that I really like because the problem you've got is you've got a dog that's so focused on over there that you might as well not exist. And if they're so focused on over there, their their bucket is filling up all the time with all the stuff. They become aware of the thing, whatever the thing is that they're going to react to really, really early. And it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. And although you don't want dogs to be surprised by the scary thing, you also don't want them to be constantly on the lookout for the scary thing. So it's getting a little bit of a balance. So I quite like for dogs like that, um, doing teaching them tricks that are nice and close that involve interacting with you and having your like you have with Falky, you have your high five, don't you, Barbara, which is your go-to trick because he loves doing that. So I might have a middle with Dashi. With hats we do paws up. um so things that they just really enjoy doing, they know super duper well, and it starts the conversation with you going. So it kind of brings them back from over there. But of course, you've got to start doing that when they're well under threshold so that they can
Mm-mm.
cope. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the sorts of thing that I like to do.
Awesome. Shall we have a look at Kirsten's question?
Yes, let's. That's a good one.
So Kirsten says, how would you deal with a dog that is afraid of walking underneath a bridge with cars driving on the top? Yeah,
All of
well, that can be really,
things.
is it fast traffic? Yeah, that can be really scary, eh?
Totally.
So,
It's one of those, isn't it? There's quite a lot going on there for a dog because I'm thinking of a specific place which has got a motorway, which is what we call freeway
yeah.
here, or highway, or whatever. Anyway, super big, busy road. And there's a path that goes underneath it that we go. And I'm just thinking about going under there because there's trucks, there's lots of cars, there's sort of 8 lanes of cars. And also, because it's quite long, it's really echoey under there as well. So the sound gets really distorted because you're underneath the bridge and it's really weird. Plus, it's darker under there and the smells are different when you go under a bridge. So actually, from your dog's point of view, there's a huge amount of stuff happening that's different and that could potentially weird them out. So I
Mm.
think what I would start doing is sort of breaking down those things a little bit. So you
Yeah,
really get to the crux of where
yeah.
the issue is.
So that's totally the thing, I guess. And if you think about it, it's like the awareness of what is really um what's the scary element here, right? I mean, how does the dog react to traffic that's not above? So is there any sign of, ooh, I notice all those cars, highway. If the dog if you approach a fast road, because maybe maybe there's nothing. Well, that's good. Then we know it has something to do with the location. It might not just be the sound. Um, what is he like with other bridges when there's snow?
Yeah, I'm
And
totally with you.
a similar bridge scenario. So I was just thinking of what you were describing. How wide is it? Is it really high or is it like a low thing? Is there something similar that's only pedestrian? Just so that that you can just kind of isolate what the thing is. Sometimes we can, sometimes we cannot,
Yeah.
right? And then so what it boils down to is if we can't, we always want to take it away from the really scary thing, right? Because otherwise, first of all, it can become a needle in the eye kind of a thing where we keep trying to work on something and be nagging, the dog and trying to get them with food or toys or whatever. And if they're really upset, we can poison any of those tools, right?
Yes.
So it's always better to work at it away from that situation. And so, and then in ways that are confidence building, right?
So
So,
yeah, I think what I would do is I would do some work, like you say, sort of at a distance from a relatively busy road. Can we do training there? How happy are we with no bridge or tunnel or anything in the picture? Just literally the traffic noise. So um, I would do, my hand touches and bits and bobs, see how they work. Can they do it there? And that would be my first stop. I would also, as Barbara said, if possible, try and find similar scenarios. Now, you'd want a quiet bridge. If you couldn't find a bridge that was quiet, it might be it really would need to be some sort of enclosed space. Because I am thinking about how the air moves under a bridge. So something like an alleyway or a passageway or something like that. So you've got how, the smells will be similar. Particularly if it's somewhere that lots of dogs go, because imagine all the dogs will be under there. It'll be huge. Um, it'll be a big sniff party. So, places that you've got that enclosedness, the closer you can get it to the bridge, the better. But otherwise, it might be a bit of an approximation. The other thing that I would think I would do is I might go on my own and just record under the bridge for 5 minutes or something on my phone and do some training with those noises really soft in case it's the way that the noises sound and that sort of distortion that's the issue, and then gradually build up. I might do some training outside, sort of before you get to going under the bridge. So, kind of next to it and not actually go under the bridge. I might do a little bit of that. see how brave we get, how and they do some training there. So you're taking the focus away from the bridge and you're putting a more positive connotation in that area. I think those are the sort of things I'd probably do. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't just go in it and try to do stuff. I think that would be way too much.
So Kirsten said it's an interstate.
So it's
It's
going to be
definitely
big.
fast.
Yeah, it sounds similar to this bridge that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah. So, and Kirsten tried Super Bowls, open bar, closed bar, just rapid feeding, high belly treats, but he's so spooked by it, yeah. So I would definitely stop doing any of this right there and let go of this idea of we need to go under and through this thing. And I would have a really close look at what he's like in other traffic scenarios. So, I mean, Julia talked about how the place smells different, how the air moves different. There's so many details to it.
It really is, isn't there? It's a big one.
Yeah, but there is this huge element of fast moving traffic and the noise of that, the potentially vibrations in the structure
That's a
of the
really good
bridge.
point,
And
actually, the vibration part.
yeah,
Really good point.
so I would, the more he can get used to the individual elements on their own, the more of a chance we have to get them to be confident with all the things together. And then generally generalization. So whatever you want to do, so I would definitely get your some form of we moving together really strong. So this could be your reinforcement zone. So the dog feels really confident and safe when you play reinforcement zone in other scenarios. So play that with lots of distractions, maybe even and pattern games absolutely in there, just so you have a
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, something like
Nice
that.
and simple,
One,
isn't it?
two,
Yeah.
three, cookie, 1, 2, 3, cookie. But I would also work on reinforcement zone, like a
Yeah.
trick or moving in middle or anything. I mean, it depends what the distance is. So you would have to have that really good for that amount of distance, just so the dog feels good about the thing we're doing, right, together, and is used to you generalizing this to different places with different distractions. And then, as Julia said, things like recording the sound, working with the sight of moving cars and how it sounds like that interstate, but not where the bridge is, right? Train at a safe distance with him and just be really curious, be a bit of a detective. What is he like? Because some dogs, they are actually wary of the traffic, but unless they lunge and try to bite the cars, we might not notice.
It's really good. It's a really good um, illustration of what we're really talking about today is that that's a very different sign, isn't it? That he's not coping. LG wouldn't go into the tunnel either. So you don't have to, LJ. You can stay.
Mm.
Alison says that Tess reacts to cars on wet roads sometimes.
Yeah, I've had that with my cat.
Yeah.
A different sound, right?
Mm. And of course, when it's wet and it's raining, everything smells different. So if there's any oil or any diesel or anything on the road, it's going to really heighten that smellness because it goes all over the place.
And Mars says she keeps losing us. The computer is playing up. It's really
Oh,
frustrating.
Mars.
Oh, Mars, we're really sorry. We had such a struggle to get going. So we know what you feel like.
Yes, we're
Julia
totally with
almost
you.
cried.
We've got a question on YouTube.
Yay!
So Mary says, is it true that dogs can show reactivity to similar looking dogs? For example, to short-snouted dogs or to black dogs or specific breeds? Is this reactivity experience-based then? Good question.
It's a super good question.
Do you want to answer or shall I? Or shall I start and you
Oh, we
finish?
can both. I mean,
We
it's
can both.
definitely true, right? It's definitely true.
100%. Yeah. No,
And it can definitely be experience based. That's the easiest explanation. Dog was attacked by a small black dog, or a bowl fell off the cupboard next to the dog while a black dog walked past.
yeah, so the black dog gets the blame.
Yeah. So, but I'm not sure whether it is necessarily always experience based.
No, it isn't. So, the conference I went to that I
Mm.
kept talking about back in November that was fabulous,
Yeah, yeah.
that we're going to go to this year. There was a brief discussion on this. I think it was Sarah Fisher, the ACE Free Work lady,
Mhm.
was talking about it. And she was saying how, because we were talking about uh, breeds of dogs and breeding them with extreme features and that kind of thing. And she was talking about how there were some dog breeds whose faces were very different, or body language actually was very different, difficult for other dogs to read. And some of the examples were the bracky dogs, so those flat-faced breeds, so like your pugs and your French bulldogs and your bulldogs and all those kind of things. They can be really difficult to read. But also dogs like Shar Peis that have got all the folds, Chow Chows again that have got lots of going on and big fluff going on. So if your dog can't really understand what another dog's trying to tell them, they will assume the worst. And that's why sometimes those dogs can be a lot scarier. And if you've got one of those breeds yourself, then they're going, they might be getting aggro from lots of other dogs, which then in turn will make them more defensive. So that's one thing. And similarly with black dogs, black faces particularly are more difficult to read for our dogs because they tend to have quite sort of again it's seeing the subtleties of what the dog's doing with their face, and our dogs aren't great at seeing stuff as it is anyway, so that can make it harder for them.
Yeah.
It can also be one of the reasons that dogs can sometimes be a bit more reactive when it's darker because they can't see the body language so well. So
Mhm.
yeah, the answer is yes, and it can be experience based, but there is also that inherent, you know, them not understanding what that dog's trying to tell them because they can't communicate because they don't have the physiology anymore
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that they need.
And Katrina says, is it more difficult to read black dogs and some other breeds with different features? So you spoke to that, and I think
Totally.
black dogs might be similar,
Mm,
just
yeah, it's
no.
just hard to read their little faces.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah.
one of the reasons for me, I I'm going to say this and then I'll probably go totally against this because when I get a dog, because I tend to get rescue dogs, so I tend to go for the rescue dog that really, really needs me, and it can be any dog. But my preference is to have a dog that, is as dog looking as possible so that they have that chance to be able to communicate for me. And I find that works well. So, I like a proper snout and ears, which you'll know if you've seen Hattie. She's got the best ears.
She's got really cool ears, yes. Although Stevie is giving her competition now.
She is actually. She's got those big, fluffy, almost papillon-like ones, hasn't she? Which are really cool. Whereas hers are just like a satellite dish.
Yeah, that's Lisa says she will record her front door opening later to our training session. Thanks for the great idea.
Great.
And Alison says she's been doing a reset with Tess for the last 3 weeks and attempting to work on calm. Any strategies for teaching calm would be really welcome, please. That is a big question, Alison.
You want me to answer?
Well, if you want to.
I take a three-pronged approach to calmness in dogs.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a rule of threes because there's three within one of the three. So the first, I know, annoyingly, The first thing, I mean, you're doing the reset, which is massively important. So you're not exposing your dog to the triggers, all that kind of stuff. So we'll take that bit. I'm just going to put that to one side because that's what you're doing at the moment. The other things just to be really careful with is one, sleep, making sure your dog's getting enough sleep. Massively important. If they're not going to be calm. Similarly with, any discomfort, pain, itchiness, those kind of things. So just make sure you've got all of those covered and that your dog's got a great diet and they're sleeping well. So that's the first one. I covered quite a lot in one then, didn't I?
Yes.
I know. The second one is there are certain things that dogs do which are naturally calming. It's things that they tend to choose to do when they want to self-regulate. So the things that kind of bring down our dogs a little bit, but we can't generalize. Dogs will react differently to different things. But in general, so I am generalizing, we're talking sniffing, licking, and chewing. So incorporate lots of those sorts of things. So, when you feed your dog, maybe feed them in a topple or use some sort of lick mat or something like that, so that they're doing some of those natural behaviors. With chewing, your natural chews, you want to know whether it's going to be a calming chew for your dog. They want to be chewing on it right at the back of their mouth. It's that that's what you're looking for. That's the kind of the regulation, the regulatory thing. Sniffing, there's lots of different things you can do, even if it's just scattering food in the grass and letting them have a sniff around. But you can play all sorts of games. Our enrichment course has got lots of lovely games which use their lovely noses, which is fabulous. And again, it helps with self-regulation. So that's the second part of it. So if you want to help your dog to grow calmness, I would be doing an awful lot of that and have it as quite a big part of their daily food. And then the last one is having that awareness that we tend to reinforce our dogs for doing stuff a lot because, that's kind of what we do. We also reinforce them for doing the things that we don't want. We reinforce them for doing the things that we do want, but it's always doing. We don't really reinforce doing nothing. So actually, it depends on the type of dog you've got. If you've got like a super bouncy dog, it can be really useful just to reinforce them just chilling out. But it's hard to do because you don't think to do it. So I really like what we call a ninja feed. And that's where your dogs say, having a little bit of a snooze, get a piece of food, you put it just in front of their nose. So when they wake up, there's a treat there because the treat fairy's been. And they could see the value. It could just help grow that relaxation behavior. So if they're having a bit of a chill, I wouldn't be giving them a piece of food that was really high value. It would just be a piece of kibble, something really low value for them, just to say, oh yeah, you still get the good stuff even when you're just chilling out. So they don't feel like they have to be on the go all the time. So that would be my three-pronged approach to getting a calmer dog. What would you add?
Well, I would just add in that a dog can only be calm if they have other outlets for the things they need to do. So
Good point.
that depends on, and I'm just adding this. I know that, because you covered a lot already. So, and that comes with the caveat, a lot of people, or very often people make a mistake and they think the dog needs more exercise, more exercise, more exercise, more exercise. There is such a thing as too much of that. But we do have to make sure that the dog does have the exercise, the amount of exercise that they need in the way.
Yes.
In the right way. So it doesn't, not every dog wants to jog next to a bicycle for 2 hours, right? That's pretty mindless, and for some dogs can be soul crushing. So things like being able to dig, being able to hunt for whatever that but really creates joy for them. So I'm not talking about OCD behaviors like my Stevie chasing flies, not that sort of thing, that's not good exercise. But letting them, go after something or play with you, play with a flirt pole for some dogs, not for every dog. Every dog's different. So you need to know what your dog really loves and make sure they have enough of an outlet for
You can
these
get a bit
movements.
of an indicator from, what your dog, the type of dog you've got. You can get a bit of an indicator. If you've got dogs like mine, that's not much use to you, but you still need to look within them as to the sort of dog. So, for instance, if you have a bull breed, for example, lots of tuggy games are gonna, they mostly were going to really enjoy those. Not necessarily, and it could be really great for other dogs. If you've got, a spaniel, getting them doing some scent work might be fabulous. So think about that appropriate
Mm.
type of
And
thing.
and then thinking, because they want to, the dog also wants mental stimulation. So some of the enrichment that Julia already mentioned might involve that. Scent work definitely does, but also just training and trick training, ways where they use their body, but also need to use their brain, figuring out what it is. Shaping. Shaping is definitely in my humble opinion, there is always the odd behavior that I would teach just with a lure because it's quick and easy and the dog gets it quite quickly. That was a double thing. But on the whole, shaping is so much more fun and it's a puzzle for the dog to figure out what it is that gets them the reward. So that definitely also makes them, yeah, like creates a happy tired, like, oh, I worked hard today. I snuggle into my bed and I have a
Yeah.
snooze cozy, right? And then limit the choices. So, for example, in my house, it's sometimes really mad because I have two wild ones. So I mean, Falky's only 2 and he's full of beans and he's young and he wants to play. And Stevie is 6 months and if we let her, she'd play all day long. Falky doesn't even want to play all day long because even he gets exhausted, right? They don't necessarily bring out the best in each other. So
Mm.
if I would let them go at it all day long, so I manage it a bit, right? He has a nap when she's out, and she has a nap when he's out, and that won't be forever. That's just now, right? Or sometimes, I put her on a hot zone. I'm doing chores, then she has a lead on. I'm not somebody who says house line, house line, house line, but I put a lead on her, one that's not clanky and doesn't get hooked and so on, simply because it's easier for me. Oh, I didn't notice. Okay, because I'm training, but I'm also doing stuff because we can't always just train, right? So then I can get her back quick and put her back on. And once she's tried that a couple of times, and that's provided all the other boxes are ticked, then she'll say, okay, well, that just easier then, right? Because I've limited the choices.
Exactly. And having that sort of
Educate her.
reality. Mm.
Right? So when they're both in the same space, there isn't a lot of, because otherwise it's chase me up and down the passage kind of a thing. All
Mm.
the mats go flying, then it's swimmers turns off the couch gets pushed in a different corner, cushions are no. And you can tell it does happen. Of course it
I
happens.
kind
But
of think of it like, imagine it's like with toddlers, isn't it? Sort of 2, 3-year-old children. And if you've got a group of 4 or 5 2 or 3-year-old children, do you just let them go at it and carry on and carry on and carry on? Because they would, wouldn't they? They would carry on playing and being mad and get grumpier and more of a
exactly. And
nightmare.
they do totally get grumpy, right?
Yeah. And their dogs are exactly the same. So that's why they just need to have these boundaries just to help them. And that's what
Yeah.
it's about.
We have to set boundaries
Yeah.
totally. Okay, we have a few comments.
Da, da, da.
Okay, Barrett said, yep, got a blacky fluffy dog who's learned that other dogs are slow to learn what she tries
Yes.
to communicate and hence talks in capital letters sooner than later. We're improving since we got to know dogs that understand her. Great. And then Katrina says she found Ace free work really helps with calming Freya on our quiet days.
I love Ace. I cannot wait when I do that course down with
Yeah.
the lovely Sarah in June.
And Freya also loves her flirt pole, which also is good substitution for a high prey drive. Absolutely.
Yes. Nice for chasing.
And yeah. And then Alison says, thank you so, so much.
It's a
And
pleasure.
Barrett says to Katrina, so does mine. Nothing better can happen than the flute ball. Yeah, mine love the flute ball too. I'm like, they're so fast though.
Yeah.
And
You need to have when you've got border collies or those real drivey dogs, you need to have like it on the end of a big horse lunge whip or something like that, don't you? So that in the middle of a field, so you can really get them
yeah, because I
moving.
just wait. I just always worry about their joints a little bit, hey,
Yeah,
because they
there
got
is that.
sharp
But
turns, even though I try to. And yeah, anyway, I do use it, but I must admit it ends up being more about impulse control than
yes,
actually
it's great for impulse
chasing.
control. Yeah. I've got a question because we probably ought to finish really, and it's been lovely having
Mm.
questions. I love it when we get questions. But I
Yeah,
do have
thanks,
a
guys.
question because we're here on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday, which has been lovely. Um, for you guys, I haven't asked Barbara about asking this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Sorry. If you found it more convenient to have the live on the Tuesday, could you put a strawberry in the comments? If you find it more convenient on a Wednesday, could you put a bunch of grapes in the comments, please? I'm
Oh,
not
right.
saying we're going to change
Strawberry
it.
2 days and grapes for the Wednesday. We could. So,
But I just thought if we've got an opportunity that, we might
yeah,
consider it
yeah,
if it's more convenient for people.
yeah. We can put or we can, if you're watching this on the replay, you can also,
Yes, do.
put your opinion matters.
Du, du, du.
Yeah, Katrina put a fruit salad. She says, that's fine. Yes.
Yay! Sue strawberry, Alison's either. Wednesday's for Lou. Either for Teresa. Most people are happy with either. Great. That's
Okay, that's good. That
fantastic.
gives us flexibility because we might
Yeah,
need to.
brilliant.
Goody, goody. Great. So maybe we'll call it a Tuesday. I'll go and get some supper and find out if John managed to feed the dogs or not. That was a
Yeah,
bit
we'll
of
decide what we'll do next week, which day we'll do next week tomorrow. Usually
yeah.
Wednesday is our planning day, isn't it? Where we plan what we do next week.
Yes, so
So
true.
we'll do that. And whenever it is, we'll see you all there.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And thanks for all the questions. That really makes it much nicer
Yeah.
for us to have questions.
And just, keep questions coming in the group. I think it's lovely when we
Mm.
get people chatting.
And you guys know, even if you don't have a struggle that you want to talk about, not everybody's always happy sharing that there is a struggle or something. But even just general questions or geeky questions.
Oh, yes, please. Get
Any,
me having to go and open a
any,
book and find out.
yeah, that's only happy to do that for
Yeah, it'd be
sure.
great. And sharing the videos and the stories. I love the stories that you guys share. So more of
Mm,
that. That'll be lovely.
yes, awesome. Hey, Teresa, grapes. Oh, it's grapes for Teresa. Okay.
Super.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.